guys. So glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. You guys taking other classes right now? Yeah, okay. Um, all online, or I know you can do some online and some in person.
I'm currently doing this semester fully online.
Fully online. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
me too.
Okay. That's often the case. Yeah.
I actually have a question if you don't mind me asking right now.
Go for it. Yeah.
In the Canvas, I saw that for under one of the modules, I think for this week, there's due dates for certain videos.
Yeah.
Now, is that counted as a grade or is that kind of just like a general rule of when?
Yeah, actually, that is a really good place to start. And that's what I wanted to bring up first. Yeah, so uh, we have some course preparation to do, and those are marked with to-do dates. And I consider that to be a suggestion. So when you look at the modules, you'll see there's a section for deliverables. And those are the ones that are counted in the grades. So really every week it's going to be the same pattern, 2 coding challenges on Sundays, the assignment on Monday, and then the quiz on Tuesday. Those are the ones that are counted in the grade, but these other lessons and videos are not.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. So you'll more or less see that same pattern, except for when we get to an exam week, at which point we'll not have new content to do. You'll just have that time to focus on the take-home exam. Yeah. I'm just waiting a little bit. We have a good group here. This is awesome. I really appreciate you joining me. I know this time doesn't work for everyone. There are all kinds of jobs and class schedules and family commitments. So I will always record these sessions. But I wanted to just have a chance to see you all, meet you, get to know you just a little bit as much as we can in a remote video conference. But to make sure you're feeling comfortable with the course, how it's organized, and see if there are any questions or things we want to clarify. So I'm going to start with our course structure. And Gabe or Gabriel, do you go by Gabriel, your full name, or Gabe?
I usually go by Gabe, but I prefer
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Gabriel, sure. Okay. That's the name I see on the screen. So appreciate you starting us off with that question. Yeah, so let's take a look at the structure of our course. We have everything set up in modules, and we have a side panel navigation. I'll make this look more like a student view. And wanted to point out a few things about the interface and the resources, and then I'll say a little bit more about generally what we want to cover in this class and what our goals are. It's a good idea to kind of click through the module components and see what you have available to you. You'll notice that there's DataCamp access. This is free while you're enrolled in Eisenberg, which is so awesome. So I encourage you to explore that, although we don't have any required work in that platform. it is just available to you if you want to go in another direction with any of the topics that we're covering, or enhance your knowledge of something that we're doing, build some skills. Have a look at that and see what stands out to you. You just log in with your UMass credentials, and then there are all these options. You can look at courses that you might be interested in, certifications, AI. There's a lot of new content there that is just available to you for enrichment or interview preparation, whatever you want to do. There's almost anything related to, data science and analytics. So that's a side note, but I didn't want to go without mentioning that. You'll see how the assignments are graded. It's important to know that it's error handling is a pretty critical thing in this class, and I'll talk more about that when we have our first learning support session, which is already scheduled in Teams. So that's going to be our next chance to get together. We'll have a learning support session for the first unit. We can talk about the coding challenges and the assignment, and that'll be on Sunday at 7 p.m. And again, it will be recorded. So that's a great way to just make sure you're understanding what we covered during the week, go over anything technical or obstacles that you're having with the code. We often solve a couple of problems in their entirety, so you can feel very comfortable with what we've covered. Yeah, so lots of useful stuff there in the welcome section. Here we have our introductory materials. We're going to use Google Colab, and I used to use this platform called Replit a lot, but haven't been, the interface has been changing. I leave it here as an optional extra technology tool that you could use to write and run Python code, but there is no requirement that you do that. You're going to see in some of the videos that, especially the coding challenges, that I use that platform to show how the solution is built. So if you feel like trying it out, making an account, you can do that. Otherwise, you can always just use Google Colab as your, I call it a scratch pad to develop your code. And that's what we will rely on. I was just asking that everyone also do the name pronunciation in this early task here. So just you could, this has you record your name, and that's helpful for me. I'm embarrassed I don't know any languages other than English. I guess I know some coding languages, but that's not great for communication. So I'm not that great with names that are not part of my vernacular, but I'm trying to work on it. So I appreciate the help there. Okay. So in each module, you're going to see we have lesson notes. That's not something that ever needs to be turned in. That is a workspace for you to follow along with the videos. So if you've gone through any parts of this so far, you'll see that the notes and the videos are very closely aligned. So as you see the code being developed in the video lessons, you're able to kind of follow along and experiment and explore while writing your own code in the lessons. I wanted to point out that anytime you open a lesson, you want to make sure to save a copy for yourself in your own Google Drive. And the way to do that is just to go to File and then Save a Copy in Drive. And you'll see the copy will pop up there, and that makes it easier for you to kind of work with the code, add your own code blocks, add your own text blocks, and run the code as you see me doing in the video lessons. Yeah, so once you've made a copy, that copy goes to your own Google Drive, and you can always click File and then Locate in Drive to make sure you can see where that notebook went. So this is our most common workspace that we will use. it's a lot like a Jupyter Notebook, which is that came first, and then Google Colab is the browser-based equivalent of that platform. Yeah, okay. So we'll do a lot more of that when we start getting into the assignments and things in our next meeting. I also want to mention that any in the lessons, you're going to see that there are some exercises that are unsolved. So if you were to scroll through, you would see all these lessons teaching you how to work with Python a little bit at a time. And then there's some exercises with a prompt, and you can try it out. But then if you get stuck, you can always check the solution file, and that will have the worked out exercises. Okay, in addition to the modules and the pre-recorded video lessons that are organized by topic, you're gonna see that we also have the Echo 360 system. And it doesn't seem to be working for me in the student view, but it should work for you. This should be available to you. This is not at all required, but it's something that I wanted you to have just in case you're interested in seeing what this course is like in the classroom. What you would see is the same topics being covered as what is available in each of the modules, but it's more of a dynamic development of concepts and methods. So these are from the last time I taught this class live in a classroom, which was the fall of 2023. And you're welcome to use those as you see fit, and refer to them if you think it will be helpful for you. So anytime you want to do that, it's there for you. But again, there's no expectation that you watch those. Okay. So in each module, you're going to see the lessons, any resources that I think are helpful, and then these are the deliverables. And again, these are the pieces that are counted in your overall grade. Once I record a help session, I will post that in the assignment resources area. So for those who have to miss the help sessions, which is a lot of people, honestly, the time doesn't work for everyone. I found that Sunday, Monday evenings were the best option based on polls I've done in the past. So those will be happening on Sundays. Actually, we'll have a TA doing many of them. She'll do them at 4 p.m. on Sundays, and then the recordings will be posted shortly thereafter. Okay, before I talk a little bit more about the nature of the course and the learning objectives, I wanted to see what other questions you might have about the structure, the learning approach, anything related to Canvas or technology. We can address that now.
Yes, I had a question.
Great, okay.
So I could see that there are to-do dates in each of the lessons. So does
Yep.
that mean like we should complete that lesson and the exercises by that date?
That's my recommendation. For the deliverables, it's required that they are turned in by the deadline, but those that have a to-do date, that is just a recommended time to completion. I know a lot of people work full-time or have other classes, and will use the weekends to work on their solutions to the exercises. So the best practice would be to complete the lessons by Friday and Saturday so that you have some time to work on the exercises on Sunday. I think most people, based on the emails that I get, I think most people are working on the assignments on Sunday. They're due Monday, but you have a little bit of buffer time so that you can ask some questions. I also have appointments available during the day on Monday, so that's why I do it this way. So to be really clear, these are listed on the calendar as items that you are to do, but they do not need to be turned in. And you can tell when you look at each of them individually, they don't have points attached, right? Even though they're on the to-do list, they don't have points attached. Anything that has points attached to it, that's a deliverable and that's counted in your grade.
Okay, so will this, like these lessons will be the only means of like this class, or like will there be any video lessons? Or is this it? Because sorry to ask, because this is my first time taking a lesson in the US. So I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the primary learning tools, right? The modules are totally self-contained. In an online class, it's more or less impossible to have regular class meetings. So the course is designed to be asynchronous, meaning you work on it on your own time, at your own schedule. So these are all the learning materials. The goal is to work through the videos while working along with the lesson notes, just like I was showing here, right? So this is code you can write and run and change once you've made a copy. So that's how you want to be learning, right? With the lessons and the videos. On top of that, you have the extra resource that is optional in the Echo 360 that has archived class recordings that you can use if you like. And then every week there will be a learning support session on Sunday or Monday. So that's how you'll be learning the material.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. I see there are several questions. So let's go with Jacqueline next.
Hi, just going off of the scheduling and the asynchronous part, the syllabus mentioned something about class attendance and being present during class meetings. I thought maybe that was for in-person classes, but I wanted to make sure I was clear.
Yeah, that should not be. So if that's there, I'll delete it right now. Oh yeah, this should go away.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That must have been a remnant of a different class. Let's just say there we go. Thanks. Perfect.
Sorry.
I appreciate that a lot. It helps me. Michelle had a question.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I have a quick question. You're going to think I'm crazy because it's already for Tuesday. I travel for work sometimes, so I'm going to be out of the state for the next from Saturday to Tuesday. So for that quiz, is that already unlocked? Because I'm not sure I'd be able to do it when I got back, depending on when my plane arrives. So I just was wondering if I can finish that prior.
It should be open for you. Yep.
Okay.
And the quizzes have unlimited attempts. So I'll make that really clear. You might have been waiting to open it because you didn't want to use up your chance, but you do have unlimited chances with the quizzes. And it looks like it is unpublished and somebody has done it. Some people have done it. I can tell when the check marks go to light green that people have submitted things already. So yeah, that should be fine. I try to open up materials 2 weeks in advance for online students just because I know you have a lot of competing priorities.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. If you have a hand raised, just go ahead. And
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
My question was, so every single week pretty much is going to be two coding challenges, an assignment that's a bit longer, and then a quiz, right? Just to kind of
Correct.
simplify everything.
Correct. Yep.
And
And then
then sorry, yeah, go ahead.
after 3 lessons, we'll have an interim exam. Mhm.
All right, perfect. And the coding challenges are always due on Sunday, and
Mhm.
then the assignment Monday and the quiz Tuesday. Is that kind of
Yep.
the system for every week?
That is the
Awesome.
pattern. That is the
All right,
pattern. I think I might have changed things a little when there's a holiday.
Mhm.
I can't remember, but there may be slight changes to that.
Okay.
However, that is the typical pattern.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Are we allowed to work with each other on any of the
Yeah.
assignments?
Yes, yes, you are. I look for unique solutions. You know, I found that sometimes people do like to work together. I would just caution everyone to make sure you're building your own solution, and don't copy and paste code. Um, totally great to work together, but to keep it really simple, everybody should be typing their own code. Yeah.
Okay. So if we were to work together and the codes, if we're typing our own codes and they end up similar, should we do anything to let you know that we worked together on a specific assignment, or just?
There are things you can do. I have found that when people are typing their own code, it's just automatically unique. If the code is if the code is copied, all the line numbers are the same and all the comments are the same. So as we get into our work, you'll learn that we have code and then we can have commented portions of the code. So a comment in the code is something that is ignored and not executed. Does not run through the Python interpreter. It's just a text that is there for context. So one of the best things that you can do to make sure your code is unique is to have your own variable names. And so I know not everyone's at the same place in the lessons, but one of the first things that we explain is a variable. Okay, so Z, I might make sure that I use, if my friend is using Y for their variable name, I might make sure I use Z for my variable name. Because and that can be really helpful for you as a learner because it shows you what parts of the code are coming from the Python default library and what parts of the code are generated by you, the programmer. So 2 things you could do is make sure your variable names are unique and write comments throughout the code to explain what you're doing. So this is something like that. That's my recommendation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for asking. Amon? Question?
I already asked mine. I'm all good. Oh, sorry, I put my hand up. I'll take
Okay.
that down.
No problem. No problem. And Matthew, your hand is up. Did you have another question or?
Yeah, I guess. How are the exams? Are they similar to the assignments?
Yeah, they are similar to the assignments, just like you might expect in any class. The exams are will cover multiple units of material. So your job will be to build programs that use techniques that have been covered and synthesize all of that into one cohesive program. The exams are fewer questions than the assignments, and what you will see that is different is in many of the assignments, you have a lot of fill in the blank code, whereas on the exams, you're writing all of the code yourself.
Oh, and you don't get solutions too, because I did the first 2 assignments, and I think there were a couple solutions. Not solutions, but like what I should expect from my code.
Expected output is also provided on the exams.
Oh, they are, okay.
Mhm.
And like, do you make comments if the code, I guess, doesn't look like the prettiest, but it gives you the solution that you want?
That's a good question. At this point, we don't care so much about aesthetics or even code efficiency. That's something that you might work on in an advanced computer programming class.
Yeah.
At this point, we're just worried about making it work. Sometimes
Okay.
they call that caveman or brute force solutions. So don't worry about how pretty or elegant the code looks.
Okay, so if I don't have a comment, but you get the solution that you want, I should be fine.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess the question that Eamon had is the same exact question that I had. Do the assignments also have unlimited attempts?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for asking those questions. Very good. Zach, I see you have a hand raised.
Yeah, I had a question about the coding challenges. So I did one of them at first, and when I was trying to figure it out on my own, I got the right solution, but I used like if else statement rather
Great.
than the solution that was provided in the video. And I was wondering if that would be okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've solved
rather
that.
than-
I know what you're talking about. I've solved that problem also using if else statements, and that is perfectly acceptable. Yep. The reason I don't do the solution that way is just because I kind of expect that people may do some of the coding challenges before do the first coding challenge before even going through lesson 1.2. That happens sometimes. So I wanted to show a solution that didn't rely on conditional statements, but if you use conditional statements, that is perfectly fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Erin?
Hi, sorry, I joined a few minutes late, so I don't know if you covered this already, but for the live session, like the meetings like this, is that for class or is that more so like office hour questions on homework?
It's optional. It's a help session. Yeah, so each week we'll have an optional help session for whatever unit that was covered that week. I'll be doing the first one on Sunday at 7, and we'll mostly go over problems on assignment 1. So it'll be a good idea to try those problems so you have some knowledge of what we're doing. And then going forward, the learning support sessions will be announced weekly, but they will mostly be on Sundays at 4. That's what we've been able to work out with me and the TA.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, totally optional, and they will be recorded. And I'll just mention again, once they're ready, they'll be posted right here in the assignment resources area. So you have that available to you.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions, or are we okay so far? Erin, do you have another question, or is just the hand still up?
Oh no, the hand's still up. Sorry, I've only ever used Zoom. I don't know why.
No, that's totally fine. I think I'll just close with a quick summary of our learning objectives in this class. I know that you have a video that introduces the course and talks about Python and its relevance, and that's in the welcome or in the intro module. But I did want to just emphasize what we're going to be focusing on in this class. Python can be used for so many different things, but as business analysts, it's very useful to have a background in Python for a variety of tasks. And the two most common tasks that you would use Python for as an analyst are data extraction, management, and manipulation. And then the other is data summary, visualization, and analysis, right? So that's what business analysts might be doing with Python. You might be building, eventually building some predictive models, which we cover a little bit towards the end of the class, but I cover a lot more in my data science for business class, which is School Management 657. That's Python based, and it's machine learning with Python. So this class is more about building those foundations and the day-to-day tasks that you might do as an analyst. It's possible to jump right into data extraction, visualization without building a background in Python programming. But I really wanted to give everyone experience with the foundational programming principles. Like, you can skip iteration, and you can skip conditional statements, and you can skip functions, but you're very limited if you don't have some foundations. So that's why we spend the first 3 weeks learning about those things. And you'll hear me talk a lot about functions and how important they are. A function allows us to create a collection of operations to automate a process and avoid manual repetitive tasks as part of an analytics solution. So in the end, towards the end of the class, you'll see this confluence of foundational programming with some of these powerful libraries and tools that are available with Python, right? There's tools for data extraction. There's a library that's just there to extract data from the Yahoo Finance API, for example. There's a library called Seaborn that's just built for data visualization. So all those tools are available as what we call libraries or packages. But if we can combine those things with combine them into a function to do something that is completely customized, that's really powerful. So that's what we aim for in this class. And there is no expectation that you have any background in Python at all. So we start from the basics and work our way up. And I think you'll find that you build a lot of confidence through doing those repeated exercises and challenging yourself with the cases that we do in the weekly assignments. All right, well, thank you everyone for being here, and I may see you on Sunday to go over the first assignment, technical challenges, coding exercises, and any other questions you have. At that point, we'll get much more into the topics of the week. So I'll see you then, and feel free to be in touch in the meantime if any questions come up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.